Hey there, today I watched the new film Borderline and now I want to tell you about it. It's a dark comedy with dramatic elements about a stalker terrorizing a pop star. Written and directed by Jimmy Warden, this film stars Samara Weaving, Ray Nicholson, and Eric Dane. As far as movies go, this one is fairly straightforward. It's about a creepy, delusional dude stalking and assaulting his favorite 90s pop star. He goes to her house, has long interactions with her bodyguard, and eventually kidnaps her and her boyfriend and forces them into a shotgun wedding. There's a little psychotic violence, and a lot of awkward but hilarious moments where people try to satisfy his delusion. There's a lot of funny moments born from this insane scenario. The visual journey takes place in the pop star's mansion. We see the characters running around the house, conversing, and attempting to escape the stalker and his cohorts. Along the way, they cut to different characters making their way to the house and show off a few small side stories where they fit in extra jokes and horror moments. For music, they have a mixture of basic instrumentals and a large variety of original songs. They give the movie a romantic feeling when the stalker is on screen, engaging in his delusions, and really play into the absurdity of what's happening. Okay, so it wasn't a masterpiece, but it does a lot of good. Starting with the story. It's a straightforward tale about a guy stuck in his delusion of marrying a pop star. He gets a few henchmen to help him out and then goes and does what he wants. There are a few random moments along the way, but most of it can be explained by the two mental patients being in active psychosis. It has a lot of humor, a bit of action, and a few horrific moments to spice things up. Cast-wise, you get great caricature performances. The cast is small and tight-knit. Almost everyone gets at least a few good moments to play out, even the supporting characters. Most of what they're doing is reacting to the insane situation, but there's also a lot of humor to keep things light. The big roles of the film are Eric Dane as Belle the bodyguard, Samara Weaving as Sophia the pop star, Ray Nicholson as the stalker Paul, and Jimmy Fails as Sophia's boyfriend Rhodes. Alba Baptista and Patrick Cox, who played the henchman, also deserve an honorable mention. They were hilarious but played highly stereotypical roles. Eric Dane's Belle is an old security guard who's tired of the job. Dane plays it like a tough old soldier with a lot of heart. He's there to do his job, but is understanding while he does it. Dane gets some fantastic interactions with Nicholson throughout the film and acts wonderfully as a straight man for the rest of the cast to play off of. Samara Weaving's Sophia is a narcissistic pop star who lives life lavishly. Throughout the film, we don't learn much about her personality, but watch as Weaving is tormented by the stalker's delusions and reacts to it with a hilarious combination of annoyance and horror. Weaving creates a victim that you can actually empathize with, and it's easy to root for her when she stands up to Paul. She also gets to do a little bit of relationship work with Jimmy Fails, and there's a nice moment between them towards the end. Jimmy Fails as Rhodes is both comedic relief and the heart of the film. He's the only down-to-earth, nuanced character in the film, and his reactions to the situation are both hilarious and heartwarming. He does a fantastic job of the emotional journey and had me in stitches with all his reactions to the celebrity paraphernalia around Sophia's house. Finally, the king of the film is Ray Nicholson. He plays Paul, the delusional stalker, and does an amazing job of it. He's bright and bubbly when things are going his way, and then becomes naively violent when he starts getting confused. It's like watching an adult baby trying to live out their fantasies. He looks so innocent and carefree, and then all of a sudden he's got a knife and he's shoving it into your guts. Nicholson plays the emotional journey well, and manages to appear genuinely mentally unwell rather than just being another heartless villain. I laughed so hard at all the little moments where people try to treat him like he's normal and get a perfect reminder that he's clearly insane. Visually, the film takes place in a beautiful home and involves the stalker and his henchmen terrorizing Sophia and the people with her. There's a lot of dialogue, a bit of flavor, and a heavy emphasis on making the journey look good. They do a lot of fantastic looking long shots where the actors get to explore the character, and they have a lot of cinematic looking conversations. The camera work is great at capturing the emotions of the characters, as well as their personalities. For big standout moments, they have a couple of deaths, a little bit of basic fighting, and a lot of scare-style horror moments. There isn't much to talk about here, but there were a few moments scattered throughout the film. The biggest point for me is the jump scares. They have the stalkers appear in random places, showing up behind the characters. The way they build up these moments creates a lot of tension, and the impact when the stalker shows up is incredible. Sound-wise, the film has a lot going on. It's got a variety of different genres popping up all the time, and it's constantly trying to emphasize atmosphere and emotion at the same time. The original tracks they use are great in the moment. For example, they use love songs when Paul is on screen and actively engaging in his fantasies of being married to Sophia. It's a little bit endearing, with huge undertones of creepiness to it. It also helps sell a lot of the dark comedy. They even have a scene where the music takes center stage and the performance becomes the reason the story progresses forward. In general, they did a good job of integrating the music into the film and creating a positive effect with it. All that is good and all, but the film does have a few flaws, mostly with the story and the visuals. First, the story. It's got a lot of things going for it, but it does end up being kind of repetitive. A lot of the film is just watching crazy people be crazy. They do random weird things, have weird interactions, and everything revolves around them. It just keeps going, and after about 40 minutes of it, it's pretty much beaten to death. When they eventually get to the climax, things pick back up again, but there's a huge slow section in the middle of the film that holds everything else back. Next, the visuals are intentionally killing a lot of their own impact. They have a few kills and violent moments, but they often strip them of any real value. Like one guy gets his head crushed by a microwave. We don't see the hit. We never see the body in any real detail. We don't even hear him scream. It could have been a huge moment in the film, but they just skipped it. They skip the big moment a lot and replace it with reaction shots or cutting to the next scene. It's lame, and this movie didn't feel like it should be going for a PG rating. It's about a stalker terrorizing people in the dead of night. I think they can go a little bit harder. Personally, I enjoyed the premise, the cast's performances, and a lot of the visual work. I wish they would have gone a little harder and tightened the script up a little, but it was still an entertaining film that I would recommend to other dark comedy enthusiasts. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 7 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye!